I hate being married. I long for the day to be single again. The only thing that's causing me to stay and stick it out is because I've been a housewife for 10 years. And to get back out there in the workforce with a mental illness, there's some fears that I have. But I literally do hate being married. So y'all know how I say that I always use my content to push my pain into purpose, make y'all laugh. A lot of this pain is connected to my marriage. A lot of it. I just try my hardest not to put it out there, and I'm still not going to go into details. But just know that this shit is not gold. And no matter how much I try, no matter what I do, at the end of the day, I still just want out. I want to be single. I know I can love myself better alone than anybody can love me with them. I love who I am, but I do not love who I am with this person. I hate being married. And on my life, once this shit is over, I would never get married again.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Coming online to tell an audience of random people, now probably millions, that you hate being married. First, you say you're not going to give details about your marriage, and then you proceed to give details about your marriage, right? She's talking about how, number one, she hates her marriage. She hates being effing married, in her words. Two, she's talking about her mental state. Three, sounds like she's struggling financially, cannot support herself. That sounds like the only reason she honestly is choosing to stay. All this while she's still married. All this while her husband probably has to watch this and have friends, family, different people send him these type of videos on a consistent basis. This can't be the first time she's actually talked about this. But I do think, man, when it comes to videos of women crying about being stay-at-home moms and being upset about the position they put themselves in, because we kind of accept that maybe she had no choice. Most of these chicks had a choice. Most of these chicks were okay with being stay-at-home moms until the resentment started to build. Even if the man you're with said, I want you to be that. You are an adult. You should be able to say, no, that's not what I want for my relationship. And if you cannot deal with that type of a situation, stay-at-home mom, etc., then you don't enter into that. In fact, I believe this so much that if you are complaining about the dangers of being a stay-at-home mom and how you hate it, and you got married within the past 5 to 8 years, when a lot of these conversations have been out and open and you've seen the results, right? The risks that may come with you being a stay-at-home mother, and you enter that and then choose to complain still, then at this point, it is your fault. But this is just plain disrespectful. And I hate to let you guys know that this just gets worse. And I mean a lot worse.
I hate being married. I long for the day to be single again.
Then leave.
The only thing that's causing me to stay and stick it out is because I've been a housewife for 10 years. And to get back out there in the workforce with a mental illness,
Right.
There's some fears that I have.
I'm sure there are, sweetheart. You got on here with the alligator tears. Just ranting. There's a couple of things I want everybody to watch. Let's
Talk
do
about
the
it.
male version of like the opposite of her, right? Mr. Provider Man.
Okay.
I hate being married, bro. It's just I long for the day that I'm single again, dude. Because for 10 years I paid all of her bills, but like I never had to wash any of my own clothes, cook any of my own meals, change any diapers, do any child rearing. I never had to clean the house. Like, that's the only little eensy beensy thing. Like, that's the little tiny thing that I'm just afraid of, like, to divorce her. Like, I haven't had to stroke my own meat in 10 years.
That's funny.
Like, those are the only, like, little itty bitty things that she did for me. And so, like, if I could find a way to, like, replace her and the little few things she did for me, like take care of my entire life, I would have divorced her yesterday, bro. Yesterday. And then it's like I have this mental illness And like, forget the fact that she's been the main person who's had to deal with my mental illness. Just watch me cry and feel bad for me. Right. Right. That's how stupid she sounds. This man has provided for you consistently for 10 years. You're online crying
Mm.
because you want to be divorced from him for like so bad. And your biggest fear is having to replace what he provides you. That's interesting.
Very interesting. That's a good point, man. That's a good point. The man you cannot go online and make a video like that. You can't get online and cry about how hard it is to provide for your family and kids. Society is just great. Let's check out some of these comments, see what the people have to say. And then I've got something this shit gets crazy. This first comment says, laughing my A off. I hate being married, but I love my comfortable life. That's what it sounds like. And we're about to find out that a lot of married women have this same delusional perspective here in a little bit. Somebody else here says, I long to be free, ... but I'm too comfortable. That's fact. Somebody else here added, I hate being married, but I love the title. Yes, the title is nice. Here's another person who says, people are way too comfortable on the internet. Yes, let's not forget, there is a man on the other end of this whole conversation, of this whole situation, who's just chilling, who probably doesn't even have a TikTok, who's reading comments of people shitting on him. How do you think that affects him? But I get it. You don't drink coffee.
No, I'll have a tea, actually.
Somebody else here says, I want Shira 7 to explain this side effect to them. This part is always left out of the message. No one should be this in charge of your life. So obviously she's talking about Shira 7, who encourages women to find themselves a man who can pay all the bills, which she calls a high value man, and that being the end goal and the most important thing that a man has. And this chick is saying, this is the dark side of that, and no man should be in that situation. Should no man be in that situation? I don't know if I agree with that. I think there are people out here who can accept that dynamic. Both man and woman, high-earning man and woman who's a stay-at-home wife, and they don't complain, right? They understand. They're not home alone. Because what happens with the stay-at-home wives, we saw an attorney a while back who talked about how those are the most drama-filled and contentious divorces because stay-at-home wife convinces herself that she's doing everything. Why? Because she hasn't worked in years. And when he gets home, he's relaxing from the work. And so she's like, you don't do anything around here. It's all on me. I think men should definitely help out with chores and things like that, etc. You know me, you know how I view that situation. But I do think if you're a man who's flirting with the idea of having a stay-at-home wife, you need to strongly think of what that means and what that could result in, right? The pros and the cons. Seriously weigh those out before you put your woman in this situation, which this leads us to a perfect comment here that says, and this is precisely why my wife shall work. So after 1 million views on her video crying about how she hates being married, somebody left this comment that read, I felt this to the core, and I praise God every day he provided a way out, right? She's talking about her marriage. It wasn't that I didn't love my husband, follow me here, as a person, but I didn't love him as my partner, and that's a horrible feeling. In most cases, these men haven't done anything wrong other than just not fitting into that person's delusional expectations of how they think marriages play out. And you might say, well, Chisha, she should have the right to, yeah, sure, okay, but what did she say at the altar? She lied when she said through sickness, through death, through all these different illnesses that she's going through, because chances are he didn't cheat, and there isn't a serious problem. Don't believe me? Check it out for yourself.
You hit the nail on the head with this one. That's exactly how I feel. Because he has great qualities about himself, and that's what make me work so hard to stay and try to fix it. But unfortunately, we get along perfectly apart than we ever do together. I honestly believe at this point in my life that he was supposed to have been a friend. I was supposed to friend zone him. And not
I was supposed to friend zone him. Horrible, horrible situation to be in. I feel sorry for this man.
actually marry him. Because you're absolutely right. I do love him as a person, but not as my partner. And that's a horrible, horrible feeling. And he ain't even cheating, from what I know. And the only reason why I put up the video is because I didn't want to feel alone. I needed to feel related to. I don't get that often. I don't have a lot of friends in the physical. Most of the people that's close to me live very far away from me. So physically, I don't have people to lean on, to go to confide in. So thank you for saying this, and I appreciate it.
And so she decided to go on the internet and tell the whole world. The dating market today is filled with a lot of these chicks. You give them a husband, they complain. You take the husband away, they think that they're wife material and they just need to find the right guy. Doesn't matter what you do, chances are they are in a default state, and that is you don't get everything you want. This is not a fairy tale. It's not. It's not. People promise and vow, I'll never get married again. A lot of people get remarried. Crazy number, like 86% of people remarry after divorce. Chances are she will probably be one of those people. But here's where things get really disheartening. Check out some of these comments from a lot of these wives. These are married women. The majority of them are married women here we're about to talk about. This first woman says, I divorced my husband 5 years ago. So she divorced her husband. Sounds like it was for the same reason. I just don't love you anymore. Right? Goes on to say, I don't feel like I love you. Right? So is that feeling. We are much better friends now. He even allowed me to live rent free in his home for 3 years till I could get my own place.
Put that coffee down.
Bro. And the creator responded back. She says, oh, wow, he's a very stand-up guy. Do you think that they would think you were a stand-up dude if you divorced a woman just because, forget you, I'm done, and she let you stay with her for 3 years? Would they be saying, there you go, queen, that's the right thing to do? No. Men have a higher expectation of being kind, being understanding, all of these things. Somebody else here says, pray about it, put it in God's hands. Here's another person who says, yes. So we have a chick here who can relate. Pay attention. She says, I'm experiencing this now. I tell him I love him, but I don't like him at all. I understand these videos to the core. He's a great man, but not my man. Another comment here says this is a common feeling. Unfortunately, most people just settle. In parentheses, only a select few are truly with their soulmate. Soulmates do not exist. There's not one person out there for you that's meant for you. Disney and cartoons, still in that mindset. You have a chick who talks like this, even men who talk like, oh, she's my soulmate. And you're putting this woman up to the pedestal of your soulmate and this was meant to be. I've got to, no matter what. No, you choose what you're willing to fight for. You choose what you're willing to commit for, and you commit. We've got another comment here. Pam says, it's a miserable existence with a broken heart emoji. I actually asked God to take me. You're asking God to take you out the game. I'm ready for the death us. I'm ready for the till death do us part, I think she meant to say there. Later, my husband left me for another woman. And for our final video on the topic of things that women say and if men said the exact same thing, check it out.
My favorite men are the men that just work. Like, if you're a man, you need to be at work. Where are all the good men? They are at work, doing their job, focusing on their job, excelling in their field. Those are the best men, because a man who is not happy with his career or where he's at in life are the most evil men you will ever meet. They're the most insecure, evil men. They will ruin your life. And they're just not fun to be around. Guys, working, career, happy, of course, probably wants to excel more. We all do. But like, that man is your man. The man that's not happy with where he's at in his career, bye. Bye. Love you. Bye. See you later.
This is very badly put, right? That's like me saying my favorite type of women are women who know their place in the kitchen, right? It's just like, chill out, ma'am. And of course, this is a male platform, though. Women are always welcome, right? As long as you drink coffee, you're definitely welcome. In fact, we appreciate all the female coffee drinkers for sure. But if a platform like this didn't exist, then you would have the people who think that men who have opinions about anything when it comes to dating are toxic. Like, there's just people who believe that right now. Every male platform is toxic. And you'd have situations where this wife is talking shit about her husband. Doesn't sound like there's some serious problems in their marriage. And you wouldn't have any contrary takes on what exactly is going on. Listen, as always, I'm curious to know, what do you guys think? Leave your comments down below. I appreciate you as always for checking out yet another episode of Coffee Pot. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.